following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds like 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Sindrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in on what is, at least for the moment, a beautiful Friday afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. However, we are indoors because we're expecting some bad stuff in the next 30 to 45 minutes. We are on the campus of Father Ryan High School in Nashville. We're in the Champions Room, and when the rain hits, we're probably going to be pretty happy about that. Before we do anything else on the show, let me thank the folks at Donnelly Timmons, because they are the reason we're here, and we will do not only our 4 to 6 o'clock show, but from around 6:30 until 11, it'll be Friday Night Live from Father Ryan High School, and I cannot say a big enough thank you to the staff at this school. Man, they have bent over backwards for us to make sure that anything we needed that was within reason, that they have gone out of their way to see to it would happen. Billy Derrick is alongside. Billy, as some of you know, is a graduate of this school. However, I'm the one with the shirt. We discovered yesterday, Billy, that you have not made a contribution to the school. I was embarrassed by that. In the last 24 hours, have you rectified the situation?
George, I'm getting ready to go over to the Spirit Store and purchase a polo. That's among my community service for the school.
So,
I'm also going to buy a nice Father Ryan polo.
Yeah. So let's get right to all this.
Let's do it.
Obviously, we're on a high school campus on a Friday night where there's a football game, and that in and of itself is great stuff. And we are joined here at our broadcast site by Father Ryan head football coach Brian Rector. You see him in that right-hand screen. Did you notice, by the way, that you had on a coat and tie in the intro of what we did here?
Oh, that was fancy. That was some high-class stuff right there. That's me at my best, I guess.
So, first of all, thank you on a game night for taking the time to do this.
Of course. I appreciate you guys doing this. It's a great setup. It's a great thing you got going, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
So, for fans, this 2 or 3 hours before a game is great. The tailgate, the band gets ready, people are having a good time.
Yeah.
My suspicion is the coach is not. And what it is, I think, is about a 5-alarm fire in your stomach. What is it like?
Well, it's there's great parts of being a coach, and this is not one of them. The whole waiting game, the waiting game. You hurry up and wait. You're all excited all day long. The school is a buzz, and this is probably anywhere in the whole country. And then school lets out, and as a coach and as a team, you've got to kind of chill. You've got to kind of chill for the better part of 4 hours, and that is the part that you probably like the least, to be honest with you. But it's part of it, and when it's over and done, you actually have some pretty good memories of those little 4 hour blocks of time right before a game.
Yeah. One of the things I was telling this group beforehand about a scenario where the late Rick Region and I put on what was essentially a week 0 clinic bowl, back when the clinic bowl no longer was the state title games, and we had a bunch of lightning and delays. And in August and September, there's a chance you deal with that. And a coach, I would think, has got to be able to really think on the fly. And what are we going to do to keep them going? We don't know. It looks beautiful out there right now. but the forecast in 30 minutes is not very pretty for about an hour. If that were to happen tonight, what kind of stuff goes through your mind on that?
Really, we're just so used to it. I mean, coaches around, everywhere, especially around Middle Tennessee, we're just so used to the stick and move mentality, the adjust. And we spend all this time making out all these sheets and papers like I have in my little shirt here that says, hey, we're doing this in this 5 minutes. And
No, we're not.
3 minutes later, and the next thing you're just not. And it's just part of it. And so it is frustrating. I'm not lying to you. We got next to about 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes of practice yesterday. And it was great. So I didn't really care for that too much. But at the end of the day, it affects everybody.
I got a theory and I want to share it with you.
All right.
I think that the high school football coach is having more fun today than the college coach, because you're not dealing with NIL, you're not dealing with transfer portal. You think that's a fair assumption?
Well, I mean, I did college for 2 years and then came back to high school. So I guess I would say, yeah, I mean, the fact that in my opinion anyway, the fact that I do what I do really says that. And but there's so much more that has changed about the game even in high school. But I do still think the game is pretty pure. I think that you have great coaches and amazing competition and a lot of fun. Yeah, and a lot of fun. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's really important. We do get to go home for the most part each night and sleep in our own beds, and that's always a positive too. But really, to me, I just love the age group. I love the age group because you don't have to have a scholarship to be playing high school football. You don't have to have this kind of deal. You don't have to have. You're in high school for 4 years, and it's almost like the purest thing you can do. That's a very finite time. You don't get any more of it. You don't get any less of it. And I've always liked it.
Has Billy contributed to your program?
Oh, in many ways.
Give me one.
How dare you disparage Billy in such a way?
Give me
right?
one. I just want to hear one.
Billy's a great sport. Well, I'll tell you what, he's been a good brother to several other couple other kiddos that I coach. One currently, and one who's now up in Illinois on a baseball scholarship. That's right.
Oh, good.
That's
Lord.
right. A mentor, a real.
You can't do better
leader.
than that. Come on,
Coach.
Really?
Coach, I appreciate the kind words, but let me ask you a quick question. I'm going to show a picture up right here. George, This was one of the biggest wins in Father Ryan football history. It was Coach Rector's really first big win, especially with it being on campus. You see there, that was after a fake field goal. What was it, 25 yards?
Something like that. Yeah,
they were at about
right.
the 25-yard line, called a fake field goal against Ravenwood, and they ended up converting it. Jackson Bird scored. So, Coach, when you look back at that night, obviously it seems 8-9 years ago now, but what do you remember most about that night?
That we were absolutely terrible up to that point. We were absolutely terrible. We had some turnovers. We had dropped the ball. We had bad tackling. We had at one point in time Jackson had I think a knee injury, and he had to come out for a few plays, and he was one of our better players. And you know how that panic can kind of set in on the sideline when your best player goes out. So, and then the next thing you know, somehow we fought back and got to the point that our kicker had zero chance of making a field goal of that length at that point in time, but nobody else knew. And so we just called it just like we practiced it. And Jackson, the funny part of the story is that Patrick Beacom was a tight end at that time. Patrick is a really good football player for us, and he was wide open in the end zone, or at least he says. And so he still gives Jackson all kinds of crap for not throwing that ball to him. And Jackson tucked it and went. So it's a funny story. It's a good story. The picture, it's funny you say that. That picture hangs up on my wall in the garage.
It's awesome. that really describes the emotion of that moment and everybody. I mean, the whole team ran out there.
Well, that's the only time at the end of the game where the clock, the buzzer rings and I sprint off the sideline out into the field. Literally the only time in 25 years of coaching that's happened.
George, here's the other thing. 40 years from now, when they have a reunion, put that picture back up, Billy. About 80% of the kids in that picture will lie about how that play developed.
That's what's awesome. That's what I love about it. The stories just get bigger and different and more colorful every time they tell them.
Absolutely.
Coach, let me ask you this. A night like this, George has talked about it, Stuart Magnus told me earlier, there's probably going to be over 3,000 people here tonight. Brentwood, a community like that coming over. You look at this and you envision it, but when it happens, when everybody gets here, kind of hits you a little bit as a fan, as a coach, as a player. So I don't know another community that does it like Father Ryan and the Irish Nation. So, what does that mean to you as a coach? And was that part of the reason why you wanted to kind of be a part of a community like this?
Well, if you're a coach and you're not wanting that in some degree, then I don't know, something's wrong in my opinion. But absolutely, from a community standpoint, a history standpoint, tradition standpoint, you definitely want to be a part of something, and you want it to be as good as it's ever been. I mean, at least I do. I want to be selfishly speaking, on the top of the historical conversations you talk about, George. I want our coaches and our teams to be at the top of that list of talking about great successes. And it's hard in this league, but at a place like this, it's really special. And Brentwood coming over tonight, definitely going to bring a lot of people. As you were saying, that there may be a few thousand or more here. I've been over there and with that community and competed against that community for many years. And there's really none better. It should be a great atmosphere.
Billy, you've got time for one more. So make the head coach of your alma mater proud of you.
Well, I'll try to.
Surprising.
Yeah, as he tries to make all of us proud tonight. Coach, obviously last week, tough loss against East Nashville. As you look at the film, what do you learn from last week, and how do you take that against a team like Brentwood and use that as a chip coming back in front of a home crowd?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, we were not the Father Ryan team that we're going to be tonight, and hopefully never again the rest of the year. I mean, it was an unmitigated disaster. Okay, there's no other way to say it. You could use coach speak and analyze. We weren't ready to play. We were terrible. That is on me. That is my fault. It's my job to have the team ready to play, and I did a really bad job. And we're going to be better tonight. One game at a time. That always comes into that coach speak. Hey, thank you for coming over here and doing this. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Thanks a bunch, guys.
Good luck tonight.
Same here. Thank you. Father Ryan football coach Brian Rector joining us to start the show. When we come back, we'll kind of do things a little bit backwards. Terry McCormick will join us. We'll get our daily Titans update. They play Arizona tomorrow night at 6:00 over at Nissan Stadium. Then we'll update you on what is going on in the world of sports. Zach Womble with a few of his thoughts on week number, what is this, 2 of the high school football season. We're going to have a lot of fun today from the Champions Room at Father Ryan High School. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Hope all of you are getting ready for a great weekend. First weekend of college football. Vandy in Hawaii tomorrow night at 9:30. We welcome all of you back to what is a special broadcast of our show from the Champions Room at Father Ryan High School. And Billy, why are we here?
George, we are here because of Donnelly Timmons Custom Builders. Not only Father Ryan High School in their game tonight against Brentwood High, but Donnelly Timmons Custom Builders made this possible. You can log on to DonnellyTimmons.com, their website. Take a look at some of these houses, George. I would love to maybe down the road have them build me a house. That'd be pretty nice. But taking a look at a couple of these, I mean, just beautiful what they've done in the Nashville area. You know, they've done houses in Oak Hill, Forest Hills, Franklin, Brentwood, Green Hills. They're the premier home builder in the mid-state, in the Nashville area. Best in the business. They made this possible. Big thanks to Dustin Timmons, Joey Donnelly, and everybody over there. We'll be, of course, mentioning them all throughout this broadcast, but can't say enough kind words about those folks over there.
This is the Champions Room, and it's time for Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. Terry, for the record, I don't see one thing in here that looks New York Yankees.
Well, George, they're back. They're on a roll. By the way, the Oakland A's look like a double-A team, if that. Wow.
Well, if you look at what they've done, baseball should have stepped in at some point and said, enough of this. This is a crock. And the Yankees this weekend are going to take advantage of that. But we digress to what's going on tomorrow night at Nissan Stadium at 6 o'clock. Titans and Arizona Cardinals, you tell me where you want to start.
Well, George, one of the things that I think is not really getting talked about a lot, but there's a battle brewing at the punter position. Now, Brett Kern has been here since 2009 and has done a fantastic job as the Titans punter. And not only that, he's the holder for all the place kicks. He's a guy that can be used to run the occasional fake punt, that sort of thing. But he's getting a challenge from this kid named Ryan Stonehouse out of Colorado State, who routinely in practice hits the ball 55, 60 yards there almost every time he kicks it. And the only thing I guess that's missing in Stonehouse's game is he doesn't quite have the savvy that Kern does in terms of being able to place the ball down inside the 10-yard line a lot of times with those knuckleball punts and some of those other trick punts that Kern has become so famous for. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Titans do at that position, because do they move on from a guy that they know is pretty much a sure thing for this guy who might be the future at the position for the next 5, maybe 10 years? Or do they risk turning this guy Stonehouse loose on the street and thinking that somebody might have seen him like that 68-yarder he had against Tampa Bay and put in a waiver claim?
Yeah, there's no might of to it, Terry. You know as well as I do. For instance, Buffalo is sitting there monitoring this with their punter all of a sudden in a gang rape accusation as of 36 hours ago. You know full well Buffalo is one of those teams looking.
Oh, no doubt about it. And the Colts were a team, their punter suffered an Achilles injury. And I think they did claim somebody, maybe that's the guy that Buffalo had let go before this incident with their current punter came up, the other guy that they had in camp. But still, if you had a chance to go get a Brett Kern or even this kid Stonehouse, I think that the Colts would probably be in the market too. Now, the ironic thing of that is Brett Kern is from the Buffalo, Niagara Falls area. So if the Bills were to put in a claim on, or not a claim, they could just sign him because he's a vested veteran. If he were to land there, if the Titans decide to go with the younger kid, it would be a homecoming for him, and he'd be joining a team that's a bona fide Super Bowl contender.
Okay, quick answer on this one. Are you pretty sure we don't see Ryan Tannehill tomorrow night?
I don't think so. I think you'll see a lot of Logan Woodside. You'll see a lot of Malik Willis. I think this is a game where most of the roster spots have already been decided. You're going to see a lot of guys who are on the bubble fighting for 3 or 4 spots that are still on this team.
Okay, on Arizona's side, there has been much made of allowing Kyler Murray to play offensive coordinator. Do we see him tomorrow night?
I don't know. That's, I haven't really delved much into what the Cardinals are doing. I know that they've got a lot of guys who are injured. That's the main reason that they canceled the second joint practice session. If they're having issues with personnel and, people being available, I can't imagine them wanting to put Kyler Murray too much in harm's way.
No, I think you're right about that. But, Terry, let me ask you this. At the beginning of last season, Arizona came in here and absolutely humiliated the Titans. Now, my assumption is that that's not going to play out at all tomorrow night. Or does it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's last year. This is a preseason game. This is the opportunity to get one last look at some of these guys. In fact, with some of these guys like Ugo Amadi and all, it's a chance to get a first look at them to see if you want to carry them on the roster going forward. So that's water under the bridge. I know it was an embarrassment for the Titans last year, but I don't think it has any bearing whatsoever on tomorrow night.
Okay, leave me with one last note before we call it a day with you.
All right. Traylon Burks, rookie wide receiver, was out of practice, so watch to see whether or not he plays tomorrow night. He's a guy that certainly could use the reps because he's kind of been a little bit inconsistent here in camp. He's flashed and done really, really well at times, and then at other times he's kind of disappeared. So I wouldn't look for him to start the opener against the Giants. I think that their top 3 guys right now in some order are Robert Woods, Nick Westbrook-Akina, and Kyle Phillips. Burks will probably get some snaps as the 4th guy and Racey McMath the 5th. After that, who knows?
Do we know why he was out today?
They have not said. That was actually yesterday that he was out, but they have not said why he was out. They're not very forthcoming with injuries anymore until they're forced to when the regular season starts. So it'll be interesting to see if Mr. Burks is in uniform tomorrow night.
You think?
It will definitely be.
Terry, have a good one.
All right. Have a good one, George.
Go Braves.
You had to get that in there,
Yeah,
George.
It didn't look like he wanted any piece of that.
You had to get that one in there.
The Yankees are going to have fun this weekend. Oakland, he's right about one thing. They are a Double-A major league franchise right now. They have gutted that team. The commissioner's office ought to be embarrassed.
Well, I mean,
by what's going on in Oakland.
Look at that stadium. I think a lot of it is the stadium. Nobody wants to be in that stadium.
Here's the problem. It's been a problem for 30 years. As long as I have been a sports talk show host, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum has always been an issue. And the problem is, I don't think the A's can get the Oakland City Council to do what they need done to push forward. I believe Oakland is leaving. I think it's Las Vegas, and I think it may be sooner rather than later.
I'm with you, George. I'm with you. I got to get to a couple reads here for Terry. Terry's Daily Titans update was just presented by the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker team, you can call them at 906-8458, my bad. And then Sumner Funeral and Cremation as well. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need. Now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified.
Okay, let's run through a couple, 3-4 update issues really quick, and then we'll go to our next break. I see Zach Womble in the background. Man, he is chomping at the bit.
He's ready.
He is ready, although he will not be with us tonight, but he will be in Pittsburgh when Tennessee takes on the Panthers. Let's see if can you give me a little.
I see where your allegiances lie, Zach. I see how it is.
That away. Okay. Item number 1.
Speaking of the SEC, Auburn's athletic director, Alan Green, is out. And I think he was the youngest athletic director in the SEC and one of the youngest in the country, but he's out down on the plains.
Here's the deal. Okay. This is fairly typical Auburn kind of stuff. And I'm sure some Auburn people won't be real happy about this, but his contract is basically up. I don't know the exact date, but he is essentially a lame duck. So he went to Auburn and said, how about an extension? Auburn said, well, we'll make that decision at the end of football. And he said, screw that. I'm out of here. And
so Allen said he's out. You're saying that's how it went.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You stick with me.
I trust you on that, George. I trust you.
BGA.
George, we got more college football news. Florida A&M is getting ready to play North Carolina this weekend. Yeah. Of course, Mac Brown. I think is that where Watson is? Is that why he's not? Is he headed up to Chapel Hill?
No, I say that. I don't know. But here's the deal. They're playing Florida A&M, and Florida A&M
got some issues.
Yeah, they've got like 20 kids who are either have not had their paperwork processed. First of all, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In this day and time, if I'm North Carolina, I am all over the Florida A&M athletic director going, what the hell? What have you been doing? This is not the time for Florida A&M to tell North Carolina this. And secondly, listen, ESPN is a little nervous because they, of course, are the owner of the ACC network where that game is supposed to be. If it doesn't come off, there are going to be some ticked off Tar Heels, probably beginning with Mac Brown.
Oh, yeah. And I think they've got up to 20 players that might be ineligible or haven't even been cleared to play yet.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So we'll see. I mean, they may not even be able to get it in. We'll have to see. And you gotta believe Mac Brown would not be happy about that.
You take this to the bank. If this goes down like this, Carolina isn't giving them a dime.
He's a Brown. He's a Brown.
No, I mean, look, any school would do that.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. We'll have to keep track of that. George, NFL news, they will not discipline Aaron Donald. Big fight yesterday against the Bengals. It was not just him, I don't think. I know he threw a punch, and he was in the middle of it, but the NFL is not going to discipline him.
Well, the NFL basically is saying that these scrimmages that they have no jurisdiction over, which is a bunch of bull, but apparently in whatever the what's the word I'm looking for? In the bargaining, the
collective bargaining,
the collective bargaining agreement with the players, apparently these things don't come up. Now, here's what the story was. The scrimmage was against the Cincinnati Bengals. Excuse me. Oh, by the way, that was your Super Bowl 7 months ago. So obviously there are some, tough feelings on the Cincinnati side because they were within about that much of winning the Super Bowl and they didn't. And so they probably took it out on the Rams yesterday, some frustration. And Aaron Donald, I'm told, had a couple of either players, by the face mask or just simply ripped face masks off. And I wouldn't mess with Aaron Donald.
No.
That is not a guy I want to tick off in a scrimmage.
No matter what player you are, whether you're an O lineman or whatever. But, George, our last piece was the FedEx Cup playoff title leaderboard. We'll get to that later. Is that okay?
I believe that. Okay, Zach Womble is in the on-deck circle. Week number 2 on the high school football front is coming up. We'll find out where Zach's going to take it all. His storylines are coming up. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 10:45 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
You know, I got to laugh because we're trying to play weatherman in what it is we're doing. We're at Father Ryan High School. We're in the champions room, basically because the weather forecast that we had gotten suggested by about now, it wasn't going to look real pretty. Well, I'll look outside right now, Billy. This is why you and I don't need to get into weather.
Well,
Just
George,
turn around and look.
It looks good, but I don't think it's going to look this good for long. So
really,
yeah, the
So
radar
you're sticking with it.
The radar did not look good, and it is 440. I was expecting it at 430.
Yeah.
But
well, let's just
maybe
see.
we're not. That's why we're not meteorologists.
We'll have
George.
some fun with this. And I don't think Zach Womble is either, but he joins us to talk a little high school football. How you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
Doing good. We're going to miss you tonight, but we know you're here in spirit.
Certainly.
Kind of give me, you got a little cold there, don't you?
Hey, we're just battling through. You know, I mean, we all got adversity, right? All got to get through it. So just excited for tonight's show. I'm actually really bummed that I'm not there because the atmosphere I think that's going to be at Father Ryan tonight is going to be incredible. And so for me not to be able to be immersed in that is kind of sad. Makes me jealous of you two because, you know, in case there is that upset, if you will, of Father Ryan getting that victory, just the thought of the scene down there, them kind of engulfing you in that show, I think would be a lot of fun if it were to happen. I mean, imagine they carry George out of there on their shoulders. I mean, you can only hope for these good things, but you just never know what's going to happen.
I love the glimmer of hope, Zach. I love it.
and in this, I'm yelling, I'm a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, okay, we asked you to put together 3 or 4 storylines for tonight. Let's take a look if we can.
Well, George, we're just going to have Zach talk about him. I had just told you I didn't get the graphics up.
You didn't contribute to the alumni fund.
Everything's my fault right now.
Dude, Billy's just riding the coattails, man. He's just here for a good time. Like,
I hear you.
Billy's just here for a good time.
So tell me where you want to go with item number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you immediately have to go to, Gary Rankin returning back to Middle Tennessee. You know, Tyler Palmatier had a really, really good story on MainStreetPreps.com that I encourage everyone to check out just because it's another Palmatier classic, which has been trademarked by Blaine Keller, another reporter in our company. But essentially, he catches up with Rankin, who's now at Boyd Buchanan, coming back tonight to Nashville Christian, to Davidson Academy. And it's kind of a full circle story. You know, this is a coach that look at his record, 468 and 78 with 17 state titles. And so, of course, it all started at Riverdale, where he won, I believe, 3 or 4 of them before moving on to Alcoa. But just him returning back to his roots, if you will, in Middle Tennessee, I think is the top story of the night.
Zach, why did he leave Alcoa?
Well, he's quoted as to saying in that story that, and I don't want to give away too much because I want people to go check it out just because it's such a good story. But he says, and I quote, they felt like they were on autopilot at Alcoa. So he wanted a different challenge, and that's exactly what Boyd Buchanan is giving him down in Chattanooga. And I also thought it was interesting that he said he would have considered returning to the Middle Tennessee coaching ranks had there been one available. But I guess the perfect situation didn't come open for him in Middle Tennessee, and he found himself down in Chattanooga. And, he says that they're a huge underdog tonight at Davidson Academy, but they beat Greenback last week 62-0. And so anytime you've got a coach led by Coach Rankin and just his pedigree, I think you're always going to be in a football game. So really interesting matchup tonight over at Davidson Academy.
Okay, tell me what your second storyline is.
Yeah, I think this could have been one. But just had to put him on the back seat of this. But I would say McGavick 4-star receiver Demetrius Bell decommitted from Michigan State. You know, he was a strong commit for a long time for the Spartans. Brady McAtamney, who was a reporter in our company, is a big Spartan fan. He was super excited about the prospect of him being in East Lansing next year. He even told Tyler Palmatier he was locked into Michigan State. But then, he got a couple offers, including Alabama and Mississippi State. and all of a sudden some visits are going to pop up with, LSU and maybe Vanderbilt and Tennessee and things of that nature. So he just decided to decommit and reopen his recruitment 100%. So I'm very anxious to see where he's going to end up. And as someone who cheers for, the orange and white, I would hope that Tennessee throws their hat in the ring. I know they've already offered him just like everybody else, but it's got that feeling when Alabama calls and Nick Saban calls, you listen and lend an ear. And so part of me wonders if he's going to end up in Tuscaloosa, but we shall wait and see.
Yeah, you don't blow off Alabama with just an automatic no. Item number 3.
Yeah, well, a couple things. So one thing I wanted to shout out was Gallatin's Zakai Brinkley was voted, our fan voted Week 1 Main Street Preps Football Player of the Week, which runs every week, runs after the games and runs through the following Wednesday, where you can vote on that at mainstreetpreps.com. But just wanted to give a shout out to Zakai Brinkley for his 194 yards and 3 touchdown performance against Mount Juliet, because honestly, George, I don't think there's many experts, quote unquote experts in the mid-state that picked Gallatin to beat Mount Juliet, and they came out and proved everybody wrong, led of course by Brinkley and his big night. But again, look for standouts tonight, and Main Street Preps, we're going to pull 10 players from our counties and then 2 at-large players that will go in for as part of a 12-person class to be voted on each week for our Main Street Preps Player of the Week. So be sure to be on the lookout for that after tonight and into this weekend. And like I said, voting will continue through the next Wednesday. And obviously just want to give a shout out to these student athletes any chance that we get. And then my next point was I wanted to look at CPA at Brentwood Academy. Obviously we're at Father Ryan tonight, and that's our game of the week. But I thought another sneaky good game tonight. I don't even know if you could call it sneaky. I think it's just a good game. But CPA making the trip to Brentwood Academy. CPA won last year 21-17 thanks to a fumble caused inside their own 5-yard line to preserve that win. They've both got really good quarterbacks in Thomas Vaccaro and George McIntyre. And Plaster, I know you know the McIntyre name. So just a lot of big names in that football game tonight, and just an opportunity to be a real special one under the lights tonight.
So this George McIntyre, that would have been his great-grandfather?
I believe just his grandfather.
His grandfather?
Yeah, I think his grandfather.
Well,
yeah, just his grandfather.
Let me tell you what, if I could talk to him, I would tell him, your grandfather was a great man, because not a finer human being was ever put on this earth than the late George McIntyre. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, because in the 80s, what he tried to do to help me as a young, aspiring, Division I play-by-play announcer, man, I could never say thank you enough. So let me ask this. Will Engel be there tonight, or will he be with the Little League championship game?
That's a great question, George. To be honest with you, I can't tell you 100%, but I would just assume that he's riding the wave with his team. But then again, I don't know that to be a fact. I could completely pull an Adam Schefter here and filibuster talk with you while I text Tyler Palmatier.
Well, I want to say I've heard that he is still up in Williamsport. I think I've heard that. Cannot confirm,
because here's the deal. They play Hawaii tonight in a rematch. They will go in as big an underdog as you can be in a Little League deal. This is David versus Goliath. Hawaii's kids are huge.
George, I think it's the U.S. championship tonight.
It is.
Okay, gotcha.
It is.
Gotcha.
And then they go on
if they win. Okay.
Yeah. It's a remarkable story how far they've already gotten. So any illegal text there?
Yeah, so not helping the case here, because Tyler wrote back, I'm not sure. I assume he is not, since Nolensville is still playing. So kind of the same thought process between the two of us. Although I can't assume that Tyler has had close contact with CPA officials behind the scenes, but I would bet that's a good guess, a really good educated guess, that he is not there tonight, and that he is with his son. And while it is a very big football game, let's not forget, the coaches will tell you what the real important football games are. And those are the region games. And, CPA is still AA in Division II and Brentwood Academy 3A. So, while it is important, it's still not a region game.
I wouldn't care if it was a region game or for the NCAA title. My kid's playing in that important a game, I'm there.
Absolutely. And, I would assume he's going to be there just because of what history has shown us. But, still don't know that to be a fact. Unfortunately, dropped the ball there for you on that one, George.
Well, you know what? We put you on the spot there.
Yeah, that was tough, Zach. That was tough.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, just appreciate the heads up on that one to try to catch me
anytime.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime.
Exactly.
Listen, we're behind you, win or tie.
Look, I appreciate that. Another phone call rolling in. You just can't stop them, George. Just can't stop them. So,
Zach, get well. Watch us tonight. You may double the audience. Who knows?
You know what? I will. I told Billy I will certainly be watching tonight, and if there's anything that I can do, I'll be able to do except for join the show to help host it. Anything else, though, I can help you guys with.
Okay, let's start with this. Send popcorn.
Okay. Well, listen, you look to be at a nice establishment. Billy's obviously done what he needs to do to pull some strings over there by, rocking all the Father Ryan gear and, really just doing what he can to show off his Irish pride. So I'm sure he's got
not a stitch of anything.
Oh,
Father Ryan.
just you wait, George. Just you
whatever.
wait.
Well, I kind of respected. He wanted to be professional, not show any favoritism, and so
I don't want anybody to know who I'm cheering for tonight. I want to try to be unbiased.
Yeah.
I want to give Brentwood the respect they deserve.
Whatever. Gosh, Zach, have a great weekend. Enjoy the college football tomorrow. Get well, my friend.
I will. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.
See you, Zach.
Zach Womble. He's the best, man. He is an encyclopedia when it comes to Tennessee high school football. After the break, guess what? Stat of the day, and apparently this is a solo effort, which means I could get absolutely embarrassed in the champions room. This is Main Street Media Television.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So, whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're going to have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Where is Willie Nelson when you need him?
Little hoedown, throwdown there, George.
Yes, I hear. So, Stat of the Day has two great sponsors to it. Two friends of mine that got involved in this to try to help me, and I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, phenomenal. Can't thank these sponsors enough, George. We start with John English Vintage Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. They got memorabilia, trading cards, etc., specializing in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit them over in Shelbyville, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 o'clock and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Visit them online at johnenglishgradedcards.com. Also, Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. Call Eric at 615-490-7052 or visit rockcastlewealth.com for more information. So, again, very happy they're working with us, George.
Normally, when we do Stat of the Day, Watson's involved, and so Monday through Thursday, we've been able to hold our own pretty well. Such has not always been the case on Friday when Watson takes the day off, and then it's sort of a solo on my end. So what do we got?
George, here's what we've got. Which NBA player has the record for the most seasons played with one franchise? What NBA player is that?
It's the Florida Gator with the Miami Heat. That's the first thought that I've got right now. And all of a sudden I can't, well, whatever. Yeah, that's really pleasant. Who am I thinking of, though, that just signed with the Miami Heat to do one last?
You're not talking about Joakim Noah.
No, I'm not talking about Joakim Noah.
Former Florida Gator, you said?
Yes. And,
well, that's wrong. So you can kind of keep moving.
Well, great. Which NBA player has the record for the most seasons played with one franchise? Man.
Retired pretty recently, I think a few years ago. Played against the Miami Heat.
Karl Malone.
In an NBA final.
John Stockton.
A little bit more recent.
Played against the Heat. Played against the Heat.
Yeah.
Okay, LeBron won an NBA title with the Heat.
Who did they beat?
OKC.
Who did they lose to?
Golden State.
Well, maybe I'm wrong here.
Why don't you go ahead and put it up there?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, my goodness.
They beat the Heat, right?
But mine is right there, and I cannot think of him.
Chandler Parsons?
No, it's not. No, it is absolutely not. Chandler Parsons was his career didn't last very long.
No, but I'm not surprised Dirk Nowitzki's that answer. I didn't know 21 seasons.
Yeah, I will have the answer shortly.
Okay.
Because it just got out that, I cannot think of the name, signed with Miami for a final year, which is something like 21 seasons.
James
And
Jones? No. I can't remember.
I'll come up with it here in a minute. Okay, so the 5 o'clock hour is upon us.
Yes, it is.
The rain is nowhere in
No.
sight. We have looked stupid.
Yeah, it's disappointing, but we'll get out there eventually. Our army of technical team will help us get out there. But Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is the sponsor of the 5 o'clock hour. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere. Whether it's a sports injury, a sprained ankle, or a major joint replacement, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. Their mission is to provide high-quality, specialized orthopedic care in a compassionate manner to the people of Columbia and Middle Tennessee. You can visit them online at mtbj.net.
This is absolutely killing me.
Still looking.
I cannot find this for the moment. I will find it. I will have the answer in 5 minutes. Trust me. Okay. I'm excited about this. We're about to get a little more MTSU news.
Blue Raiders.
Right. You're about to hear a very quick interview with head coach Rick Stockstill. Blue Raiders open next Saturday at James Madison. Part of why I'm excited is this young man, Lewis Maddox, is a freshman at MTSU. He is the youngest intern that I have ever had, and he has got some great broadcast potential. Has worked for several years in radio down in Columbia, Tennessee, and will be involved with us over the next year. And he recently caught up with Coach Rick Stockstill. Here is that interview.
All right, Coach, I'm going to start off with last season for just one moment. 7-6 record capped off by a huge Bahamas Bowl victory over the Toledo Rockets. Talk for just a second about last season, the successes that it brought to your program, and how some of those successes could maybe roll over into this year.
Yeah, I was really proud of our team last year. Anytime you play four quarterbacks, it's not ideal in any situation. And the adversity that last year's team overcame to put themselves in a position to get into the Bahamas Bowl and then to win it was a tremendous compliment and credit to them. And it carried over into a lot of confidence back in winter workouts and spring practice this summer, and now that where we're at right now.
Yeah, so speaking of this year's team, if you could tell us a little bit about this year's squad, maybe your expectations for them rather than last year's team, and how they feel, and in more particular, how they feel about next week's opener at James Madison.
Well, I think we're a confident team right now. I think the guys are very confident. We lost some good players last year. We got a lot of new players here that came in this summer that have fit in well and have had a big impact. So I like where we're at as a team. We got 10 days to get fine-tune some things and everything to get ready for James Madison. But I know our team is excited about it. I know they're looking forward to the challenge, to the opportunity of playing a really good James Madison team, next week.
Absolutely, Coach. I know you like to take these games 1 week at a time, but there has to be reason for some excitement this year on the schedule. Week 2, you'll be traveling to Colorado State to play a ball game. Then 2 weeks later, you'll be taking on the Hurricanes in Miami. Obviously, have to be looked at as some great opportunities for your football program, as well as some great exposure for MTSU football, right?
Yeah, it's again. It's hard for me to sit here and talk about Colorado State or Tennessee State or Miami when you got James Madison out there. But we've got a very challenging schedule, a schedule that, our guys are looking forward to. And like you said, it does provide you some opportunities to play, a Mountain West team, an ACC team, a Sun Belt team in James Madison, then a local Tennessee State team. So, we got a great non-conference schedule.
Yeah, and speaking of that Tennessee State game, that's in the middle of those two games between Miami and Colorado State. That's the first home game of the season. I know you'd love to see a packed Johnny Red Floyd Stadium for that one.
Yeah, it's and I hope we will. And I know,
there's a lot of history between these two schools back in the OVC days. So I'm looking forward to it. Our players will be excited, our fans will be excited, and hopefully we'll have a big turnout that night.
Absolutely. Coach, my final question here for you today. A wildly successful 16 years spent here at Middle Tennessee. I just want to know, what are you most excited for going into your 17th season?
I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is just, continuing to build this team and the relationship that I have with these players and help them reach their full potential, both, football-wise, athletic-wise, and then off the field academically and everything, just to help them reach their goals and everything they have in life. But, I'm so passionate about this game and about this profession that I just want to help these people, these players, achieve everything that they're capable of achieving.
Awesome, Coach. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time today, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week.
You're a good man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our thanks to Lewis Maddox for the chat with Coach Rick Stockstill. One of the things that I have always loved about Rick, this is a story, and I don't even remember which year it was, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game one year was at Yankee Stadium. And Rick was able to get tickets and take his father. Shortly after that was Kelly Holcomb's annual golf tournament. And we were doing our radio show from there. And he made a point as he was coming off the 18th green to say, "Come here, I got one for you." He was so fired up to take his dad, who was a big baseball fan. That was a game that went 15 innings. That's one thing I do remember.
Oh, wow.
But you know what? For me, Rick Stockstill won me over with that story right there.
That's awesome.
That's a good man right there.
There's nothing like taking your dad, going to a baseball game with your dad. I mean, that's America's pastime right there. That's awesome.
Mine couldn't have cared less. He hated it. All these people think, "Oh, your dad must have been a huge baseball fan." My dad hated it.
Where did that come from you, George? What?
I grew up listening to a ton of, in all honesty,
KMOX
with the Cardinals, but WSM here back in the early 70s carried Atlanta Braves baseball. The Braves had two different 50,000 watt clear channels, WSM, WSB in Atlanta. And there virtually were no other major league franchises that could say that. That was a huge lick for them when they got them.
And the one thing about those stations, they came in clear as a bell.
Yeah,
no matter where. I mean, if you were in that southeast region,
yeah,
you couldn't get much better.
So I've got the answer on the question.
Here it is.
You know.
You think I know this?
No, did you not see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay, I looked it up. So Udonis Haslem. No relation to our former governor.
Bill Haslam.
Right.
I think it's spelled differently, too.
I think you're right. But anyway, at 41 years old, let me see if I can pull this up. Miami Heat. Let's see if I can see how long ago it is. This is my phone.
It probably shocks a lot of people.
It does. Anyway, he's 41 years old, 1 year minimum.
So you're trying to see how long he was with Miami?
Has played for the Heat throughout his entire 14-year career. Wow, to be 41. I'm not sure that's right. Anyway.
That's even more crazy now, realizing how long Dirk Nowitzki was with the Mavericks.
Good for him. So I put together just a little sheet right here, a little cheat sheet of all of the college football tomorrow of the bigger schools. And it all starts at 11 o'clock in the morning on CBS Sports Network. Austin Peay will take on Western Kentucky in Bowling Green. Austin Peay is a 26-point underdog in this game, and they should be. It's just simply a different level of athlete. It's a great measuring stick for Austin Peay, but that's going to be a very, very tough challenge because Western Kentucky in recent years has been able to throw it all over the lot. So that one's at 11 o'clock. Next after that, as you can see, is Nebraska and Northwestern at 11:30. That's a game in Dublin, Ireland. There is a ton of pressure, to be honest, on both coaches. Scott Frost has to win, period. If he doesn't, I don't think he will get another season at Nebraska. If they start the belly aching in late August about him, I don't think he can survive it. I really don't. As for Pat Fitzgerald, one of the really solid football coaches in this country, but a year ago, they really didn't do very well. And in this particular game, they got beat 56-7 by a Nebraska that, didn't get a whole lot done. And so a little bit of pressure on Northwestern. 2:30, Idaho State at UNLV. Okay, I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about Idaho State other than they've made a coaching change, and UNLV isn't exactly the 27 Yankees. UNLV's a 20-point favorite in that game. That's a game they better win.
I didn't even know Idaho State had a team, George.
Well, now
that's a shocker.
You're learning.
At Allegiant Stadium in Vegas.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful stadium. There are reasons why UNLV ought to get to a point where they can be pretty good, but
just hasn't happened for them.
It hadn't happened yet.
No.
Only when they've played Vandy. So 3:00, there are two games. UConn at Utah State. UConn in the last 3 or 4 years has been one of the worst college football teams on the Division I level. Jim Mora, the former UCLA coach, is their guy. He really needs a strong performance. There's something like a 26-point dog in this game. I kind of think they're going to cover just because the point spread is so high. And last time I looked, Utah State wasn't the 27 Yankees either.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that line, but I might sneakily take UConn in there, plus 26.5.
The other 3:00 game involves Brett Bielema's Illinois Fighting Illini. Illinois, there are really high hopes there, but most seasons there are real high hopes at the beginning, and then the whole thing kind of flames out. This is a game Illinois has to win. Wyoming, in recent years, has been really good on defense, doesn't get anything done on offense. This is a game they got to win.
Big opportunity for Bielema. We talk about Scott Frost at Nebraska. Bielema's got a similar situation where he can take that next step if they beat Wyoming.
4:00 is Duquesne at Florida State. I didn't know Duquesne had a football team.
Sorry about that, George.
Can you tell me where that came from?
Well, I think it was a little advertisement. We're not at the commercial break yet.
No, we're not.
Not yet.
No, we're not. Okay, here are 5 night games of some interest. Charlotte at FAU. FAU has had more success than FIU in recent years. They're a 7-point favorite against Will Healy, who did such a great job at Austin Peay, but has found the Charlotte job so far to be a real handful. Florida A&M at North Carolina, who knows if it's going to come off. That story about the 20 players that may not be eligible, that is on Florida A&M's athletic department. That's ridiculous.
And the fact that it's just now coming out a day before the game, that's not a good sign.
North Texas and UTEP, not exactly two of the big programs in the country, but that's the 8:00 game tomorrow night. I kind of think North Texas is a stronger program than UTEP. UTEP plays their games in the Sun Bowl, where the Sun Bowl December bowl game is.
Crowds aren't particularly great.
Not only are there seats available, there are sections available. So mark that one down.
Take that for what you will.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 late games, and I'm hoping that I'll get a chance to see both of them because I'm going to the Titans game tomorrow night, but fully intend to be home in time to see these 2 games. Nevada at New Mexico State. Nevada has lost a really good quarterback The kid, is it Strong?
Yeah, I
Big
think
kid.
Yeah, they lost him.
Yeah, he ended up being drafted by somebody in the NFL. Anyway, they were putting up a lot of points a year ago. Strong arm kid. I have no idea who they've replaced him with. New Mexico State, dregs of society in college football. One of the really low programs that hadn't gotten anything done. Nevada wins that game, or at least I think they do.
They should.
And then the Vandy-Hawaii game, I think we all know that Vandy on paper seems to be better than Hawaii. However, honk if you've heard that in the past and Vandy hasn't won. This is a game they've got to win, period. And the worry about it is that Hawaii is going to throw it all over the lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Vandy's pass rush in the last 2 or 3 years has been non-existent. That's a bad first sign. The second bad sign is if Hawaii's going to throw it 50 times, then Vandy better have 8 or 10 down linemen to be able to rotate. I don't know if they do. I don't pretend to know from a depth standpoint what they have or what they don't have. But those, to me, are the warning signs about that game.
Yeah, there are the warning signs there, but let's not kid ourselves. Vanderbilt is better than this Hawaii team on paper. They should physically dominate this Hawaii team, but like you said, George, honk if you've heard that before, Vanderbilt is up to a 9.5-point favorite. I know a lot of people were jumping in on Vanderbilt when they were about 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
You know, it's gone up 3 points. So we'll have to see. Vanderbilt should win this game. They should dominate. I think it could be an ugly game. But I don't see how Hawaii finds really any success, especially defensively against what Vanderbilt, I think, could do.
So all of us here that are going to watch, or at least act like we're going to stay up that late to watch it, it's a 9:30 start on CBS Sports Network. But out in Hawaii, that's 4 hours earlier, 5:30, which means at least the first half and probably most of the third quarter will be in bright sunshine.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be hot.
I think that's a disadvantage for Vandy.
Yeah, there's going to be about 9,000 people there too, and there's going to be a lot of Hawaii people. It's going to be mostly Hawaii people. Vanderbilt players have called it us versus the island. So it's not going to be an easy challenge in that atmosphere. Not saying it's a 50,000 seat stadium and something Vanderbilt's seen before, but they haven't seen it before. They haven't. It's like a Texas high school football stadium atmosphere. It's going to be loud. There's going to be a lot of green in there, but we'll have to see if Vanderbilt's up for that challenge.
Okay, so that's your schedule for, I guess we call this week 0. It used to be that in week 0 you would get 1, maybe 2 games. Somewhere in here, all of a sudden, you've got, what's the number? Probably about 10.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sit around like a couch slug tomorrow, you've got that opportunity.
You've got that chance tomorrow. And I know a lot of people that will be doing that.
When we come back, StubHub has put something out there that I think you'll find pretty interesting. So stick around. This is Main Street Media Television. Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course.
Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rock Castle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So, whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're gonna have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
We are back for the moment. We are indoors at the Champions Room at Father Ryan High School. But let me kind of give you a little bit of where we're headed with all this. So the idea initially was to do the entire show outside, and then we got a weather forecast that looked awful. Now, I'm going to turn around in a second, and I'm going to give you my description of what it looks like right now.
George, the one thing I'll say,
there are 2 clouds actually up there. Now that I look, there's one
cumulus clouds out there.
No,
not very many though.
We don't use that word. Make up another word.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Looks great though. So we're not
beautiful.
meteorologists
No.
by no stretch of the imagination.
We made the best call we could.
But for Friday Night Live, we're gonna head right back out there. So
the man above is laughing at us,
yes,
and he should be.
Yes, he is.
He
yes,
should
he
be.
is.
So the plan is to move this entire
operation.
I like that.
Father Ryan,
including the sign right here. We're going to move all of this and get back with you at 6:30, give or take a second or two. But that's what we intend to do. And then,
by the way, George, Donley Timmons Custom Builders, phenomenal company. They made this day possible. What they've done in the Mid-State is just phenomenal. At Donley Timmons,
why are you reading?
They believe that
If you know all this,
communication
why are you reading?
is the most important aspect of all construction projects. They have a highly skilled team of construction specialists. And the most important thing about Donley Timmons, George,
is you
Dustin,
can read.
I can read, but Dustin and Joey, they go to so many different sites each day. They check in on every site. They're in person. They're very relatable for everybody. So Donley Timmons Custom Builders, how about that promo?
That was really good. I mean, they got more than their money's worth on that thing.
Yeah.
So seriously, we appreciate what they've done because they're the reason we're out here. And this was sort of a trial by error kind of deal. And, under the category of if it can go wrong, it might. Yesterday, we about got shot out of here with a lightning strike.
I love how it just works out that yesterday we sat in the rain. We sat in the worst possible weather conditions.
We did.
And today this is the best day you could have asked for, and we're inside.
We're inside.
But I'm not getting sunburned.
So here we go. Little note here that I gleaned. StubHub. Have you ever used them to buy tickets? I have. I've seen a few Braves games courtesy of StubHub. So they put a list out there of the top 8 NFL teams that I want to say this right. The top in-demand NFL teams for tickets. Now, I don't want you looking. You're cheating.
Well, George, I'm trying to present this nicely for all of our viewers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
As we work to get this up, but you want to give
that seems acceptable. So who do you think, without cheating, would be number one? I mean, this is an obvious. Who's number one?
Number one in-demand teams or games? You said teams?
No. In other words, they're saying which NFL teams have the most demand for StubHub tickets.
Well, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be up there. That's my opinion.
Number two on the list.
Okay.
Although let me say this, not quite as in demand if the quarterback is in the Bahamas.
No.
I'm not a big fan of what Brady pulled. In fact, I'm absolutely shocked for a guy that is as buttoned up and gives you the whole commitment to winning. For him to pull that, I'm going on vacation halfway through training camp, I'm stunned. I cannot believe he tried that. So now you've cheated.
I have cheated, George,
okay.
But there it is for everybody.
Okay, so the Dallas Cowboys are number one, and if you think about it, no surprise there.
No.
Dallas is America's team. By the way, a penalty just got called on them by StubHub. Did you like that?
15-yard penalty.
Yeah. So Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers is third. I don't think that's a surprise at all. But Vegas?
It's a little bit of a shocker.
Vegas? I mean, that's living on the old Oakland Raider kind of mystique.
I think that's more. Is that more of people just want to go to Vegas? Is that more road teams want to go check out Vegas and Allegiant Stadium? I think it might be because I don't know that Oakland would be, if they were still in Oakland, I don't know that it would be as high.
So our viewers are seeing this.
Yes.
Okay. The Rams, because they won the Super Bowl, I can see that. Also, SoFi Stadium, which, cost $5 billion. Should any stadium cost $5 billion? It's absurd. But, they come in at number 5. Now, you say Buffalo? Let me tell you about old Buffalo. Those of you who attended the game a year ago here between the Bills and the Titans, you all are not surprised. Buffalo's fan base
phenomenal.
Will pick out a couple of places, warm weather. Can you blame them to get out of Buffalo? They picked Nashville on a Monday night, and they had, I would say, 50% of the crowd at that game last year.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Their fan base is phenomenal.
Thank you, Chris.
I love saying nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Steelers, I get. I mean, that's one of your most established franchises going in the NFL. When Terry Bradshaw got drafted in 71, all of a sudden they went from a laughingstock to a team of the decade under Chuck Noll, won 4 Super Bowls. You can see that the Steelers would be there. San Fran, this is sort of living, to me, off of Bill Walsh and what he got done in the 80s with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and Ronnie Lott and
all those guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's
a lot of these, Georgia. I look at them and I realize a lot of tradition rich. We talk about tradition rich programs in college football. The Steelers, Dolphins, Niners, Bills, Pack. Those filled with tradition. You're not seeing Jags, of course. You're not seeing a lot of those lower tier, low market teams. And even though the Titans are a really good NFL team, good franchise right now, they're not in very high demand, at least in the top 10.
No, and I think if you look, the networks at times in the past have hesitated to put them on in prime time under the belief that they're a little bit on the boring side.
Right.
Now, boring is great if you win. Boring if you lose is boring.
Disaster.
Yeah. But here's one of the things that has come up in the last few weeks. It's gotten out, and I think it's Forbes that did the deal, that they have valued the Dallas Cowboys as an $8 billion franchise. Now think about that. Who's got $8 billion in pocket change to go buy the Cowboys? Not that Jerry Jones or his family are going to sell anytime soon. Not that I think, would they get $8 billion? I don't know. I mean,
they would get $8 million.
Yeah. Who's got $8 billion?
I don't pretend to know, George, but I'm not surprised that I think the Cowboys will always be valued the highest in the NFL.
Well, but here's the thing, whether you believe in Jerry Jones or not, when he bought that team in late 1989 from Bum Bright, the Cowboys were sucking wind.
Yeah.
They really, first of all, the Tom Landry era had sort of run its course. And Bum Bright, the belief was that he was quick to sell to Jerry Jones because he didn't want to be the one to fire, to get rid of the legend. And Jerry Jones on day one took the heat, went down there and got Tom Landry off a golf course and informed him, "You're out of here," and Jimmy Johnson is in. The other thing that went on was that at that point, the Cowboys were not selling anywhere near the kind of season tickets that you would have thought. Once he got that team to a really good level, there is a story in a book that I have read about that. It was one of the years that they were going to play San Fran in the NFC title game. And Jerry Jones came up with this idea on Thursday night before the team left town of the pep rally of all pep rallies. And to be honest, his staff with the Cowboys was not enamored with the idea, tried to talk him out of it. But Jerry Jones, as only he can do, kept pushing, kept saying to the fans, "You don't want to miss this. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread." 71,000 people showed up for that thing, and it shocked people.
I'm not surprised. Look who we've got here, George. It looks like he's got is that a Hendersonville Commandos hat, Brian?
That's what it is.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, let's get a little closer look at that thing. We got an H in there.
Yeah.
Who do they play tonight?
Got South Warren tonight.
And you know South Warren's roster, don't you?
Oh, I'm going to save that for later on the end of the broadcast.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so we got a weekend where there's a group of us that, because it's the start of college football, want to be couch slugs. That would be me. But then in a lot of cases, the wives are out there going, I'm getting out of the house and I'm looking at other houses. Let's talk about what it is they will find. They look around at that housing market.
Well, as always, people love hanging out at the house and watching football and having their friends over, cooking some food out. Even this time of year, having a little pool party if they have a pool or whatever. But what we're offering and what I'm going to be out working on this weekend is finding people or helping people find that house where they can have that cookout and they can have people over and watch football and have a good Thanksgiving or holidays with their family. At the end of the day, George, that's what we're all trying to do. One way or the other, we're trying to put food on the table for our family, and we want a nice home, live the American dream, so to speak, have the home with a white picket fence, so forth, so on. That is one thing that I've always absolutely loved about real estate is when I sit at the closing table and I'm able to watch that first-time home buyer, signing their new home, and it's just that there's no other feeling like it. Knowing that somebody's going to start their life in this home that I helped them find and helped them get a good deal on. That's what these agents in my office are all about. We go out and we try to help these people find what is going to make them happy in life. And at the end of the day, home is where the heart is, right? So if you don't have a great home to go home to, it's hard to enjoy everything. But that's what we're here for, George. That's what we're going to be out here doing this weekend, getting people into their dream homes.
Amen. I love it. Tell them how they can reach you.
615-822-0750 is the office number. 615-440-7011 is the cell. We're at OneStopRealtyTN.com, Facebook and Instagram. Always get on there, like and follow us. We'll keep you up to date with all the information on the market, with new homes, etc. We're definitely.
There you are. We almost lost you there. Listen, you have a good – there you are with that hat. I love it. Listen, have a good weekend. We'll talk again on Monday.
Thank you, George. Billy, y'all have a great night.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to learn a little bit more about our host school tonight, Father Ryan. The level of cooperation that we have gotten from these folks has been incredible. Couldn't have pulled it off without them. Their president, Paul Davis, will join us. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride. Visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah. There will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
We are back, and we are very appreciative of all the help we have gotten from Father Ryan High School in putting this particular broadcast together. We will take all of this stuff out of here right at 6 o'clock. We will go outside there, and give or take a minute or two, around 6:30, we will begin Friday Night Live, where you'll hear the crowd in the background. You'll probably see a little bit of what's going on in the game. But the first thing we wanted to do was say thank you to Father Ryan. Their staff, their administration has been incredibly cooperative. And with that in mind, the president of the school, Paul Davis, is at our broadcast site. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you for having us. And thank you to your staff, man. There's nothing that we have asked for that they have not tried to help us.
I'm blessed with a great staff, and they're willing to help whenever they can.
So those of us who grew up here, we know exactly what Father Ryan is, but this is just a dramatically different city than it used to be. A lot of people coming in from California or wherever. So for somebody watching this who is new to our city, what do you want them to know about your school?
Well, sure. When I was in school in 1981, most of our students came from our feeder schools. And for instance, this year, our students, new students, came from 74 different schools. And so we are introducing many new people to our traditions. And we're a tradition of faith, knowledge, and service. We offer 4 learning levels for our students. So there's a place for every student in our classrooms. And it's a tremendous community, as you mentioned before, in terms of the way our staff works with people. That's the way they work with our students as well. And so we're blessed.
Paul, when I came out of high school, we played you guys at West End Junior High, snapped about a 30-game winning streak under Boots Donnelly, and don't think I don't remind him of that any chance I get. Then it was on to Vanderbilt Stadium. Then it was on to Greer Stadium. The point of this is the ability to have your own stadium out there has been a huge moment for this school.
Sure. We actually played Overton at Overton, and we were the home team. We played at Bellevue Middle School, so we were nomads until the fall of 2009. And some generous donors were able to help us build this stadium, Mr. Jim Carroll, Father Giacosa, and many, many others. And to be here on that opening night, we played Hillwood in 2009.
I actually did a radio broadcast from here that night.
Yeah, it was amazing. And one of the things that we hear from our community, our alums, our parents, is that it's a lot easier to come here for a game than it was to go to Vanderbilt, Greer, all the other places. They feel home here.
You all, and I don't know if it's still going on or not, but you shuttle people, or you used to, from some churches nearby. And I was amazed at the kind of cooperation that you were able to get to pull that off. That is not an easy deal.
Yeah, there were some restrictions placed on us for many years. When we came here in 1991, we were not allowed to have a stadium. And so in 2009, when we completed our stadium, it was a gift, and but we had to figure out parking. And so we approached Woodmont Hills down the road, and they have been great partners with us ever since.
I think you'll understand where this question's headed. At BGA, we had demerits. And I'm guessing Father Ryan has had demerits.
Detentions.
Mm-hmm. What about
Bill?
What about this one?
No, but there.
What do you mean? No, come on. I'm not buying that.
That's the only answer you need, George.
No, I'm not buying that. I want the truth.
I don't think Billy crossed that line very much.
Oh, good Lord.
Joe, that surprises George.
I crossed it every week. Oh, there were some serious threats from parents about if this ever happens again, and boom, within 48 hours it happened. So he was the little model angel child.
Sure. I don't know about model angel, but he was a great student, and we're very proud of what he's doing right now, and how he is proceeding with his career. He started a lot of that when he was here, and even before. Was it the basement of your house that you were doing that?
Yeah.
Early on, and
I was the one getting the phone calls.
I bet.
I think Frederick Strobel, our good friend, he called me a longtime broadcaster. I said, I don't know about that. I think this guy,
veteran of many campaigns.
I don't know about that one. But Paul, really, again, thank you for taking the time. Sure. You were recently named the president of Father Ryan High School, of course. Tell us a little bit about what the journey's been like, and you've been around this community more than me, and how you've seen it grow. From the days of Elliston. You were there, Elliston Place. Of course, that's George is probably more familiar with that campus, but from Elliston.
Well, it's because of rotiers.
From Elliston to where we are now at Father Ryan and your role with the school, how it's changed. How would you describe the past decade, kind of?
Past decade.
You've been a part of Father Ryan a little bit longer than that, though.
Out of the 4 I've been here, so it's a great place, and we've had to change with the times. You have to keep up with what college admissions are, what they're looking for our students, and so we have to make sure that we're offering a rigorous course load for our students. We've introduced the STEAM program. We have engineering courses now, and those were not things that were here 10 years ago, and so it's exciting to watch that growth and to be a part of that, and I'm humbled to be in this role.
I told Coach Rector that I don't think there's a community like Father Ryan, in the entire state that will come together on a Friday night like this one, first home game, of course, against Brentwood. Coach Rector said that was a big part of why he wanted to come to Father Ryan, to be a part of a community like this. So for you see a night like this, everybody coming in, of course, a lot of alums coming on campus. Does that kind of reemphasize the fact that, you love this school and you've been a part of it for so long? It's a big reason why.
Sure. I was walking up from my office and the academic courtyard. There's all of our students tailgating, and they have a theme of construction tonight. And they're hollering at you. And one of them even walked me up here and said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to an interview." And he started asking me questions, prepping me. So if this goes well, I want to thank Joshua Williams for that.
Well,
prep.
It did go well. Thank you for taking the time to come over here. Again, your staff has been phenomenal in helping us, and I want you to know that.
I love that Father Ryan shirt you're wearing as well.
It's amazing what I'll wear if it's free. How about that?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Paul.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
Paul Davis is the president of Father Ryan High School. We go to the final break of the show. When we come back, yes, it's Plaster Bet of the Day, not 1, but 2. And oh, by the way, I'm on fire. Well, that's my story. I'll prove it in about 3 minutes. Stick around. This is Main Street Media Television.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel, urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride, visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah, there will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel, urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
If this is the first time you have watched our show, what have you been doing the last 7 weeks?
Yeah, seriously.
But seriously, this is how we close each show around 5:56. We put something together designed to make you money. The Plaster bet of the day. And you're sitting there saying, oh my goodness, I don't care what you think. Well, right now you should. I'm on fire.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, with the way you're betting right now, George, I don't think there's anybody that should not take your advice right now. It is coming up. Plaster's bet of the day, powered by Bart Durham Injury Law. Since 1975, Bart Durham Injury Law has aggressively protected the rights of a broad range of victims of car accidents and personal injury in both Tennessee and Kentucky. If you too have seen your life interrupted by an injury on a highway, in a hospital, or at your workplace, you should let their attorneys do the work fighting for the full financial compensation that you need. So Bart Durham Injury Law, you can log on to bartdurham.com for more information on that front. And we look at George's recent results this week. He's 3-1, picked the Yankees on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday took a loss for the Cardinals. And then you went back to the well. You took the Yankees last night, and you got another win. So the Yankees are your team, George.
I hate the Yankees.
But they've made you some money here recently.
They have, and they've gotten Giancarlo Stanton back into their lineup, which is, I think, a huge piece of what was ailing them. On the other side, Aaron Boone went off last weekend as their losing streak continued.
Threw a little tantrum in the...
Yeah, he did, but I think, he might have pushed the right button. So even though I hate the Yankees, let's go with the first play that we have out there. We've got 2 tonight.
Oh, look at that.
So let me explain what's going on. The Yankees are a prohibitive favorite tonight against Oakland. There's something like 240 because of Garrett Cole and because of the fact that Oakland is basically trotting out a double-A team. Well, I'm going to take a little safer plunge to the Yankees, and we're going to go New York minus a run and a half. You can see that line, if you do that, is minus 135. So it's a lot more manageable to take the Yankees on the run line, minus the 1.5 against Oakland. The one thing you're pretty sure of, Garrett Cole will pitch his you-know-what off, and they'll be pretty good. Now, let's go to the college football game that I'm picking in week number 1. Look, I'm not unbelievably sold on this, but I do believe that North Texas is simply better than UTEP. Even though UTEP is the home team, if you're really bored and want to watch it, God help you, 8 o'clock on Stadium. Yes, Stadium is
online.
No, Stadium is actually, if you have Comcast, Stadium is on there.
Do you happen to have the Stadium network, George?
Yeah, because I've got a
That's
sports
the package.
Yeah, I've got a sports package that involves it.
Have fun watching that.
Yeah, anyway, North Texas is my play, and the Yankees tonight, I feel really confident about. Love to go 2-0 again. We'll review it all on Monday. Thanks to the folks at Father Ryan, and thanks to these folks, Donnelly Timmons, for making this happen. In theory, we will be back with you for Friday Night Live at 6:30. As soon as we can get all of this out of here, that's what we're going to do. This is Main Street Media Television. Have a great weekend. See you in 30 minutes.